Hello, and welcome to episode number 506 of the TEW Challenge Run. We are here, finally time, WrestleMania 40 Night 1, here in Philadelphia. You know, we've got big matches set for tonight, including our main event. Cody Rhodes defends the WWE Championship against the Royal Rumble winner, Gunther. We also have for the Women's World Championship, Io Sky, the champion, against Dakota Kai in a very personal rivalry. We also have Julia, the Women's Royal Rumble winner, Florence, the Royal Rumble winner, challenging Julia for the ECW Women's Championship. We have The Rock versus LA Knight, and a whole lot more. You know, we've had the pre-show. The pre-show's underway. Tiffany Stratton emerged victorious in the Women's Battle Royal, and LA Extreme remain the the Cruiserweight Trio champions. So without any more further ado, it's time to kick off what many are calling the biggest WrestleMania of all time. America the Beautiful, Kathy Cool, hasn't been seen in months on ECW, but she's here back tonight for her annual role of singing the national anthem. Well, no, it's not the national anthem. It's America the Beautiful. But she's here singing it. She gets a 69 because she's actually a little bit over now. So, yeah. She does a fantastic rendition of the song. We then get the opening video package, which you've either seen or you haven't. Well, those are the only two options, yes. But by that I'm saying I haven't made it as I'm recording this, haven't even started it. And if it doesn't end up getting made, then it's because of time constraints. But hopefully it's there. We then see Batista. His music hits. He's the first person who comes out for WrestleMania 40. And he gets into the ring. He goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 40th annual WrestleMania." Now tonight is going to go down in history. Tonight's going to be the greatest, biggest WrestleMania we've ever seen here in WWE. We got on the Raw side tonight's main event as Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, defends the championship against the Royal Rumble winner, the Ring General, Gunther. We also have in the co-main event from SmackDown, Io Sky defending the Women's World Championship against Dakota Kai. We've got The Rock. We've got LA Knight. And the crowd goes, yeah. We've got all these legends and future legends looking to make moments here tonight at WrestleMania. And as a legend of this industry myself, I know what it's like to be standing up here in the ring. And when a moment that's going to stand the test of time happens right in front of your eyes and you get to be a part of it, there's no feeling in the world like it. John Cena's music hits. Out he comes to a huge pop. And he gets into the face of Batista. He goes, "John, your match is tomorrow night. What you doing out here?" He goes, "Dave, I know my match is tomorrow night, but god damn it, I'm just too excited. I'm feeling the excitement in the air. 75,000, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Lincoln Financial Field tonight. What a show it's gonna be. And sure, tomorrow night you get to see John Cena and my tag team partner, R-Truth, become champions." But as you were saying, Dave, you know, it was very appropriately timed. They were talking about you never know when a moment in time can creep up on you at WrestleMania. Well, Dave, here we are. 19 years ago, you and I, we both broke into this industry on the same event. We both became world champions for the first time that night in Los Angeles. And here tonight, who'd have thought, here we stand, together again, you as my boss, as my Raw general manager. I hear voices in my head, they count to me, they understand, they talk to me. Randy Orton then also comes out. He goes, "Well, you know, it seems we're having a party up in here to kick off WrestleMania, you know." I mean, I thought I had to stop by and say hello. I mean, the joke's on me, because I've got a big-ass walk back up that long-ass ramp to get back down there for this ladder match that's coming up in a matter of moments. But I see you two out here, and I thought, this needs a little bit more Randy Orton. I see John Cena, I see Batista, two of my greatest rivals of all time. And I thought, what a way to kickstart the 40th annual WrestleMania than with a new generation of legends standing in this ring. Yes, boy! Out come Pretty Deadly. And like, whoa, Dave, what do you think you're doing here? First of all, you think you're cute by not allowing myself and the kids to get center stage on the grandest stage of them all, the biggest WrestleMania of all time, missing Pretty Deadly. That's not very good work of you, Dave, but here I see you stand, having an old high school reunion with your OVW buddies. I see how it is. So we've got time for this, but we haven't got time to fit the two fastest rising stars in SmackDown on this show. You haven't got time to fit us on the show, Dave. Well, quite frankly, I think that's ineptitude on your behalf of being a general manager than it is anything else. Because you can't be the biggest WrestleMania of all time without Pretty Deadly. And once we step foot into that ring, we're going to create a memorable WrestleMania moment. And then they get. And they sort of look at him, and Cena's like, Dave, these are your guys, right? He goes, they are Raw superstars, yes. And he goes, I know that, my match ain't for tomorrow, but we can put our hands on these guys, yes. And he goes, knock yourselves out, John. And Ellen's like, well, Dave, what do you mean? No, they can't put their hands on us. Kit Wilson's RKO'd. John Cena AA is out on Prince. Batista, Randy Orton, and John Cena hug and dap each other up to open the show. It's the Mania 30 segment, but with the next generation of legends. The OVW crew are out here. Randy Orton, though, he was right. He does have to walk his ass back to the Gorilla and make another entrance here tonight because he is in the opening match and he is the first man out for that ladder match. Well, hello, welcome to night one of WrestleMania. We're officially underway here with the Intercontinental Championship hanging high above the ring. And what a first man to see on the 40th WrestleMania. One of the all-time greats.
Is an 8-man ladder match. And it's for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Introducing the challenger from St. Louis, Missouri, weighing in at 275 pounds, the Viper, Randy Orton.
Because Randy Orton, former Intercontinental Champion in his own right, held that championship 20 years ago in the year 2004, back when he was just a young 24-year-old in his own right. But now here he is, 20 years later, in a ladder match. He's not really a ladder match veteran, so you've got to think maybe that sort of stipulation will downplay Orton's abilities in this match. And of course, we did just see him just a moment ago in that ring with Batista and John Cena, three of the best of a generation to kick off WrestleMania 40. I think Pretty Deadly will be feeling that one for a long, long time. But of course, Orton, an enemy of Dijak in this match, Dijak being Christian's right hand of justice and the current Intercontinental Champion, as Randy Orton has come to the aid of his tag team partner Edge, ahead of Edge's final match tomorrow night. And on Monday Night Raw, 5 days ago, Edge took part in his final match on the show, when he teamed with Orton, Rey Mysterio, and Orange Cassidy to face off with Dijak, Grayson Waller, Dominic Mysterio, and Christian himself. So he's got a lot of momentum heading into this match here tonight with that big win, but he has got 7 hungry other challengers, 6 hungry other challengers and a champion to deal with, including a former champion looking to get that gold back from the man who snatched it from him in the first place.
Dublin, Ireland, weighing in at 267 pounds, the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus!
Of course, as I just said, Sheamus, a former Intercontinental Champion, he was the man Dijak defeated for that title back at Survivor Series, and he'd love to get it back tonight after spending his entire career chasing that gold for the first time. But also, Sheamus has to be considered one of the favourites here tonight because he is making his way down to the ring for the 3rd straight year. This is the 3rd Razor Ramon Memorial ladder match we've done over the past 3 years. That man there has been in all 3 of them. Of course, the first one back in 2022 won by Cameron Grimes. Last year's one by Chad Gable, who would then go on to lose the championship to Sheamus, capturing him that first Intercontinental Championship in his career. And the mood has definitely changed as the boos are out for this piece of work.
From Sydney, Australia, weighing in at 206 pounds, Grayson Waller.
Look at this piece of work. He's got his name on his sunglasses. He's got a sequency jacket out for WrestleMania. His WrestleMania debut match, actually. He did make an appearance at last year's event when he turned on his then friend The Miz. This is the first time in his career that Grayson Waller steps into the ring at a WrestleMania. And he's going to love to walk out Intercontinental Champion. And he has got, in his own mind, a best friend in this match, that being Dominic Mysterio. But Dominic sort of seems a lot more cold on Waller than Waller seems on him, but, you know, alliances have to be formed in matches like this. So could Waller or this man walk out with the belt? Also for Dominic, you got to think, you know, he's got to be in a good mood going into this match just now, because we just saw on the pre-show his LA Extreme stable friends, Jorge Santana, Santos Escobar, and Rouge, retaining the Cruiserweight Trio Championships against the Dragon Dojo's Drew Gulak, Oni Lorcan, and Dante Rios. So if Mysterio wins this championship here tonight, every single member of that LA Extreme, on the men's side at least, will be a champion here in WWE. That's a lot of pressure for Dirty Dom. Of course, last year he carried the Cruiserweight Championship into this event, faced off against his own father. Came up short on that night, but tonight he can win his next piece of singles gold 1 year after he lost his last. The streets have made this man tough. He can hang about in environments such as a ladder match after everything he'd been through in his life. Well, so he says, at least. And of course, we said, as I mentioned, his father last year, Rey Mysterio, the Hall of Famer. Rey is also a member of this ladder match here tonight. So those two will be going at it yet again on the grandest stage of them all. A chance for Rey to once again whoop this scumbag on the biggest stage. With confidence as ever. You think he's confident at least. You can't really see, because of that, you know, face mask he's got on, you know, to try to make himself look tough. But, you know, it's Dominic Mysterio, so how tough can he really look? And here comes the wild card of the whole match. Because you can never, ever predict what this man's gonna do.
From seasonal residencies, weighing in at 212 pounds, Tyler Breeze.
Breeze, of course, has had quite the career over the last few years, and you can see he sort of mismatched his two identities together. He's still feeling pretty, but it is that famous black mask that he wore to attack Shane McMahon all those years ago, making a return here tonight. So maybe he's ugly on the outside, beautiful on the inside, I don't know. I don't even want to try and attempt to get into the mind of this man. One strange individual is that Tyler Breeze. And of course, this is another former Intercontinental Champion. He held that title back in 2021. Taking it from Kofi Kingston and losing it to Xavier Woods, the man he attacked to unlock this dark side of his personality that is sort of now blending in with his even older persona in a very bizarre mismatch of stuff. I can't even explain what I'm looking at here. But of course, like I said, Breeze, definitely the wild card in any match he's in, because oh my god, nobody wants to try and get inside that head. It possibly might be the strangest place known to man. So who knows what a sick guy like this is going to be able to do in a ladder match. And the crowd erupts as it's another WrestleMania appearance, another WrestleMania match added to the legacy of one of the all-time greats.
275 pounds, Rey Mysterio!
Of course, Rey Mysterio has done it all at WrestleMania. He's even won the Intercontinental Championship before at this event, defeating JBL 15 years ago in a rather quick affair to retire the wrestling god and capture that championship for the first time in his career. Can he win it back here tonight? We'll have to wait and find out. He's got his own son to overcome, as well as 7 other men who all want that gold. And some who maybe don't seem too bothered about winning the match and championship. Or too bothered about, well, anything, really. Or whatever.
And from wherever he wants, weighing in at 161 pounds, Orton Cassidy!
Of course, the WrestleMania debut for freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. He made his WWE debut at number 2 in the Royal Rumble. On that night, he very quickly eliminated Dominic Mysterio to make a statement that, you know, despite the demeanor, despite how little it may seem like he cares, this is a world-class athlete in that ring. And he has definitely got what it takes to walk out of here as the Intercontinental Champion. But the question is, will he do it? Will Orange Cassidy show up tonight? Or is, 65,000 in the building, there's another day at the office or whatever, Championship, maybe. Sure. Whatevs. But of course he has, sort of, teamed with both Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio in recent weeks. Albeit, he didn't seem too enthused about it, but I think that may just be him. And he was teaming with Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, and Edge in Edge's final Raw match just 5 nights ago. And tonight, he's got a chance to win his first ever championship in WWE. What a WrestleMania debut would be for freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy if he could get that done. Yeah, whatever, 65,000 around your orange, no big deal. It is what it is, whatever. He didn't even get the new gear. He's wearing the same jeans, same jacket as he would every other week. So maybe this is just another day for the office, but that shouldn't be the mentality the challenger should have. Especially when this is your champion.
And from Worcester, Massachusetts, weighing in at 270 pounds, the WWE Intercontinental Champion, Dijak!
As you see on the back of the jacket of the Intercontinental Champion, Dijak is this reach for the sky, of course a tribute to a friend of his, the late Jay Briscoe, but of course it is very appropriate that it is on the back of his jacket here tonight, because that is what Dijak's going to have to do to keep a hold of his Intercontinental Championship, is reach for the sky and pull that championship down from 20 feet in the air, and also fend off 7 hungry challengers who will want that championship as much as you do, including some of the very best to ever do it here in the industry. But if there's one man that's fierce enough and determined enough to pull it off, it is Christian's right hand of justice, Dijak. Of course, Christian tomorrow night will face off with Edge in Edge's final match, but he's definitely going to be watching carefully as his right hand of justice puts the gold on the line in what is sure to be a show-stealing opener of WrestleMania 40. 82. Sure, I'll take that. That's pretty fine. It's a nice opener for WrestleMania. So yeah, it's the Razor Ramon ladder match, the 3rd annual Razor Ramon Memorial ladder match. Randy Orton, Sheamus, Grayson Waller, Dominic Mysterio, Tyler Breeze, Rey Mysterio, Orange Cassidy, and Dijak. And, it's a ladder match. I can't think of the exact spots. Rey Mysterio at least would definitely do, that slide under the bottom rope thing he does, but with someone holding a ladder on the outside. Orange Cassidy does the spot where he stands in the middle of the ring and just reaches up to try and grab the belt with no ladder. And also a dive off the top of the ladder with his hands in his pockets on the outside of the ring to a crowd of waiting people. They catch him. Someone, probably Dijak, does the put the ladder on the head, spinning around helicopter spot. And then Grayson Waller hits. He did a stand and deliver one year. He did a big elbow off a ladder onto somebody else on a ladder on the outside. We're going to do that again. He's going to hit that on somebody. But, in the end, there can only be one winner. And the finish comes... Grayson Waller, he's up on top of the ladder. He's coming to pull the title down. Dijak sort of appears. Dijak shoves the ladder over, but then as Grayson Waller falls off, he's caught out of nowhere with an RKO. And then Randy Orton and Dijak just go face to face. They exchange tough spots. You know, they both pick up ladders, they both hit each other with ladders at the same time, and they both fall down. And then there's the ladders left standing in the ring, and nobody else is on their feet. That's when Dirty Dom rears his head from the side of the apron. He goes into the ring. He climbs the ladder. And Dirty Dom is your new Intercontinental Champion. Yeah. That son of a bitch. He did it. 76 for Randy Orton, 78 for Sheamus, 72 for Grayson Waller, 79 for Dominic, 78 for Tyler Breeze, 67 for Ray, 74 for Orange Cassidy, and 79 for Dijak. So Dom actually did the joint best in this match. So based on these ratings, he was the right winner as well. But yes, we do have a new Intercontinental Champion to kick off WrestleMania. And his name is Dirty Dominic Mysterio. After the match, Beatrice Vargas, I mentioned she does play a role in the match as well at some point. She probably has to try and help Dom win. Finally accepts Dom. Now he's a champion, you know. She's no longer, you know, his fake boyfriend. They do snog. And, you know, she's a bit of a gold digger, really, because Dominic's a champion now, and here she is, accepting Dirty Dom as her man on the grandest stage of them all. We then cut backstage. The Hulkster is being interviewed by Kathy Kelly. The Hulkster, Mr. T, and Cyndi Lauper. You know, the WrestleMania 1 crew, basically. But mainly Hogan, because he's the wrestler here. Kathy goes, you know, he has, I think, 40 years ago, when WrestleMania was founded, you guys were in the main event of that show, you know. We wouldn't be here today without Hulk Hogan and Hulkamania, or any words you want to say. And he goes, yeah, well, let me tell you something, Kathy. WrestleMania is the greatest event in the history of professional wrestling. And you're damn right, it wouldn't exist without Hulkamania, but Hulkamania wouldn't exist without all my little Hulkamaniacs around the world, brother. So tonight, the Hulk's just gonna sit back. He's gonna watch the greatness that WrestleMania has evolved into, brother. And he's gonna see some damn fine professional wrestling. Because we were here 40 years ago, building this place. But the future generations, the generations beyond us, have taken that ball, brother, and they've run with it to make it immortal, just like myself, brother, dude, Jack. So what you gonna do when the Hulkamaniacs, Hulk Hogan, and WrestleMania 40 run wild on you, brother? Yeah, minimizing his role on the show, but realistically, he's still alive in the game. Well, and real life, but yeah. So you've got to have him do something on the show because, you know, it's the Hulkster. So, but I don't want him plastered all over the show because he's the Hulkster. What a wild way to kick off the show. And we're moving straight on to even more championship action. And this match right here could be one to set the tone for the entire night for Queendom. Of course, Asuka, the newest member of Queendom, you know, Utami Hayashishita had been courting Asuka underneath the nose of both Cammy and Io Sky, obviously, as well as Dakota Kai, obviously. But tonight, Asuka and Utami, the unit here in Queendom, challenging for the tag team championships against two former Queendom members in their own right, or as Cammy would call them, the Worms, those snakes, Tegan Knox and Piper Niven, who have become big-time fan favorites after they stuck the knife in the back of the Joshi Judas, who we will see later on tonight defending against Dakota Kai. But of course, both women are going to be watching this match carefully, as this is sort of the precursor to that match, one of our co-main events. And this could give the momentum to either group heading into that big-time singles match later on tonight. And of course, let's not forget last year, Asuka debuted the look you're seeing here tonight. She made quick work of who else but Dakota Kai on that night. Back when Dakota Kai was a part of Damage Control. And here comes Asuka's tag team partner, the heir apparent, Utami Hayashishita. WrestleMania, of course, not an unfamiliar stage for Miss Hayashishita either. 2 years ago, after she made her debut in the Royal Rumble, it was actually this event, WrestleMania, where she had got a whole segment to herself to decide which brand she wanted to call her home for the following year. She chose SmackDown, and she's remained on the SmackDown roster ever since. Last year came up short in her chance to become the franchise player against Bianca Belair, but tonight she got a chance to get her first WrestleMania win and take home tag team gold, her first piece of championship gold in her career here in WWE. Of course, with Io busy, Cammy busy, preparing for the main event tonight, pressure is going to fall greatly on that woman, the heir apparent, because she is, higher in command in this queendom than Asuka. So, win, lose, or draw, it's on her tonight, really. But of course, this is a dangerous duo. But if there's one duo that could probably overcome any dangerous duo in their wake, it is the heart and determination of the challengers. Two of the liberators of SmackDown, they call themselves. Tegan Nox and Piper Niven, best friends even before joining WWE. Joined Queendom together because Piper Niven had passed with Io Sky in Japan. Tegan Nox joined to be alongside her best friend, but of course when a former best friend of Tegan reared her red, she ended up leaving the group, which Len came to find out was all part of the plan by Dakota Kai to tear down Queendom from the inside. And these two are very, very important pawns along with Candice LeRae in getting her to where she is today. So tonight, the pressure's on them to walk into WrestleMania Tag Team Champions and fend off Queendom's latest onslaught, Queendom's latest alliance that looks more dangerous than any we could have ever seen before. Of course, Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai faced off for the SmackDown Women's Championship 2 years ago, but now tonight, still not friends of course, do find themselves with a common enemy.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall and is for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers, Asuka and Tommy Yamashita. And their opponents, the team of Piper Niven and Tegan Nox.
Now either both teams have incredible poker faces, or they're both surprisingly confident heading into this match. Tegan and Piper defeated Io Sky and Dakota Kai to win those belts. And now it's one thing to win them, it's another to hold on to them. Let's see if they can do just that. 85. That's good. I'll take that. This is the first Queendom match of the night. So I guess, it could tell the tale of how the night's going to go for Queendom. Actually, funny story is that Asuka last year was in the second match of night 2 as well, in a, first of a group of stable members matches, when she was the first match against Dakota Kai in the Damage Control night. But this year, Asuka is a part of the group, and she is trying to win the Tag Team Championships alongside Utami Hayashishita of Queendom against Tegan Nox and Piper Niven, who betrayed Queendom and are beloved babyface champions. But in the end, there can only be one winner. In a match that I went back and forth on a lot on who should win. But in the end, I did settle. Asuka missed Tegan Nox in the face when the referee's distracted by Cammy at ringside. She kicks Tegan Nox in the head. And she gets the pin. And Asuka and Utami win the Women's Tag Team Championships. 80 for Utami, 94 for Asuka, 72 for Piper, 79 for Tegan. Yes, I know the reign only lasted 6 weeks, but it's fine. It's a part of a bigger story. I've got Queendom Cinema lined up beyond WrestleMania, so it's fine. Don't worry at all about Tegan and Piper. Like, it's fine. But, yeah. Asuka and Utami, new women's tag team champions. Then see Tiffany Stratton backstage. She's shining up her trophy. And she goes, and to think, Mariah, you know, all those months ago, when I created that SmackDown MVP trophy, and those witches stole it from us, little I know that in just I had to wait just 4 months, and now I've got my own little shiny trophy of my own. You see what this does, Mariah, is this crowns me and cements me as the future of the SmackDown Women's Division. This cements me as the future of WWE, and next year at WrestleMania, it'll be down to you to win this little Battle Royal, but I'm in the main event. Because that's the trajectory of everybody who wins this trophy. Raquel, you know, she may be tough, but WrestleMania runs on Tiffy time. Toodles.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the ECW World Television Championship.
Our third match of the night, our third championship match of the night. As a hush comes over the crowd here at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. As you're in the presence of greatness. You're in the presence of the God. Descending from the heavens, our God. He is indeed an awesome God, but he could be, tonight, the ECW television champion. Now, Kyle O'Reilly, you know, all those years ago, when he was back in the Undisputed Era, he was a tag team champion, but he's never held singles gold here in WWE. He took a few months away, he found himself, and now, he is what he says he is. In that ring, there's nobody better than him. He is a God. And tonight the God has a very, very competent champion to try and dethrone, another man in his own right, who many could say is one of the greatest in the world. And stepping into the ring on the technical level, that being ZSJ of Texas. But the God, he's looking very confident tonight, as you would if you were a God and reigned with wisdom, power, and love here in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. And the God is definitely feeling confident heading into this match. But as I said, you know, he may well be a God, but there is maybe one person on ECW that could consider himself better than Kyle O'Reilly in that ring, the God. And that's this man, the champion. ZSJ has taken on every single challenger that's come his way since he won that championship back at Survivor Series. Let's not forget that he picked apart the monster of all monsters, Braun Strowman, in that triple threat match with Dudley Davis at Survivor Series to win that belt. And since then, he's defended it against everybody. You name them, a who's who of ECW stars. Dudley Davis himself, Cesaro, Buddy Murphy, Wes Lee, Damian Priest. But tonight, the God is next in line to try and take on the television champion. Was ZSJ coming out here alone tonight? No sign of Rick Fowler or Jagger Reed of the good young veterans of Texas. Which means that even though ZSJ is a very disrespectful man, he does treat that wrestling ring with honor and purity. There's going to be no shenanigans here tonight. This will be a battle between the two of the best. The technical wizard versus the god. We are going to find out who the best wrestler is on ECW right now. And that television championship over the shoulder of ZSJ is the prize that will confirm to anybody watching just who is the best.
Introducing the challenger from Vancouver, British Columbia, weighing in at 205 pounds, Kyle O'Reilly. And his opponent from England, weighing in at 211 pounds, the ECW World Television Champion,
Again, disrespect from the champion. Of course, Zack Sabre Jr. has taken great disdain of this new look of Kyle O'Reilly, this new attitude of Kyle O'Reilly. Says, stop messing around. Well, he may not have used the word mess, but you get the gist of it. Stop messing around. You're not a god. You're a damn wrestler. But Kyle O'Reilly says that's the exact point. And tonight, two wrestlers are going to wrestle for that championship. 93. Apparently there wasn't enough psychology, but that's a lie because it's CSJ versus Kyle O'Reilly. But 93 is good. Best match of the night so far. Of course, the god on the grandest stage of them all delivers a 90+ rated match. But it is the god Kyle O'Reilly against Zack Sabre Jr. CSJ has been the champion since Survivor Series. You know, he picked apart Braun Strowman, pinned him with a cradle to win the belt. And since then he's taken everybody on that stepped up to him. You know, Dudley, Cesaro, Buddy Murphy, Wes Lee, Damian Priest, you name them. But tonight he faces not a man, but a god. And in 17 minutes and 50, the god plants CSJ down with a brainbuster. And we have a new ECW television champion. The god, he's taken that to the pearly gates with him when he goes back home. And he's showing it off. He's going, look what I won. 92 for Kyle O'Reilly, 93 for ZSJ. And the new era of ECW will kick off with the god as the head of the television championship division. Hall of Fame. This year's class, which is going to be the same as the one in real life, because, you know, it's fine. ECW, Paul Heyman, get him in there, Philly. Big moment, yeah. And, yeah, because Heyman comes out because Roman and the Bloodline shit is on tomorrow night, so he can just spend this night as ECW legend and Hall of Fame inductee Paul Heyman before he becomes the wise man again tomorrow. Here's our fourth match of the night, and it is the fourth championship match of the night. Now, if you only watch WrestleMania once every 10 years, you'll be very familiar with this man. You'll be very familiar with Daniel Bryan. 10 years ago at this event, Yeselmania was born. The Yes movement propelled that man to the very top of the mountain in this industry. But now, 10 years later, the Daniel Bryan we knew then is long gone. This is a very, very different man to the man we once knew as the leader of the Yes movement. This man is a bully, and this man is taking whatever he can do to get whatever his hands on, any championship he can. He's bullied a young protege by the name of Miles Bourne, but for some reason, because he's Daniel Bryan, he's so good at what he does, more and more people find themselves under his wing, because, you know, who's going to turn down a chance to be tutored by the American Dragon? So, unfortunately for everybody watching, you know, Bryan may not be the best teacher in the world, he may not treat his students fairly, but they get results, and Bryan is going to be very frustrated as earlier on tonight 3 members of his dojo in Gulak, only Lorcan and Dante Rios, failed to become trio champions. So for Daniel Bryan to, in his mind, make amends for that, him and his star pupil are going to have to win the gold tonight. His star pupil being this man, the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne, of course, former United States champion. He won that championship from Swerve Scott last year, the man who now currently reigns as the World Heavyweight Champion. We'll see him tomorrow night. But Pete, of course, he's had a very, very interesting career here in WWE. Debuted beating John Cena. Competed for the World Heavyweight Championship in that fatal four-way at WrestleMania last year. And tonight, he can become a tag team champion in WWE for the first time, and he can take on two of the best in Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to get there. Pete Dunne, of course, he came up short in numerous challenges to get that United States Championship back from Solo Sikoa, which included a four-way also featuring Daniel Bryan as well as Seth Rollins. And Bryan pulled Pete aside. He said, do you want this to be your legacy? Or do you want to come stand by my side? Do you want to come and I'll take you on to greatness? And of course, Pete Dunne there, he is got that hair tied back for now, but you know, when the match starts, he's going to let it flow. And you know, wait, the champions, who I believe have a score to settle here tonight on the grandest stage of them all. An important tidbit I never got to, as Bryan was making his way down the ring, is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, one of, if not the, I can't quite remember, longest reigning SmackDown Tag Team Champions of all time. They won those belts all the way back in July at King of the Ring. And of course, who did they beat for those belts on that day? Well, Cesaro and Daniel Bryan. Cesaro and Daniel Bryan won them at WrestleMania last year. So for the second straight year, Bryan finds out for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match at WrestleMania. But this year, instead of Cesaro by his side, it is a dangerous cruiserweight. And for Sami Zayn, this is also his second straight year of tag team action at WrestleMania. But standing by Sami Zayn's side, who else, of course, but the same man that it was last year. His soulmate. His best friend, you know, the man who's been everywhere in this industry together. That being Kevin Owens, making his way out here for KO Mania 8. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, when they won the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, they made it very clear what their goal was. They were gonna, rising tide was gonna raise all ships, and the unestablished teams in the SmackDown Tag Team division, they were gonna get their spotlight. We're talking teams such as Aussie Open, teams like Hit Row, Chase U, the D'Angelo family, Death from Above. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were the standard bearers of that division for the last 8 months. And tonight, you know, it's WrestleMania. You gotta get the best of the best on the grandest stage of them all, and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn do indeed find themselves against two of the very best in the industry. But of course, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn themselves two of the very best in the industry. So this is going to be 4 of the very best, doing what they do best, fighting it out to become champions here on the grandest stage of them all, the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania. Some of the biggest championship matches of all time, including this huge SmackDown Tag Team Championship bout.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall and is for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers at a combined weight of 415 pounds. And their opponents at a combined weight of 478 pounds. The team of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, of course, ever the fan favourites. You know, we've been through a lot of these two over the years. And tonight they stand side by side champions. But for how long? Oh my goodness, I knew this was a sleeper hit. 99 rating. If Kevin Owens wasn't... Is he declining? He must be, because his rating... He gets a 79, Sami gets a 96, 93 for Pete Dunne, 95 for Daniel Bryan, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. But yes, 99 rated match. You know, 1 point off perfection. And Sami and Kevin, they've beaten basically everybody in the SmackDown Tag Division. You know, they've, again, like I said, their goal since they won the belts back at King of the Ring from Daniel Bryan and Cesaro was to elevate everybody else around them. You know, Aussie Open, the Creed brothers, Death from Above, Chase U, the D'Angelo family, Hit Row. And tonight they face Daniel Bryan and his new, I guess, trainee. But he's not really a protege because he's world-class in his own right. Pete Dunne. And in 20 minutes and 37, Daniel Bryan kicks Kevin Owens in the balls. Hits the running knee. And we have new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Daniel Bryan and Pete Dunne. You know, the Cruiserweight trio came up short on the pre-show. But the big man himself gets the job done on the main show in one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time. A match as good as Cody, Seth, and Roman from last year. So yeah. I hope we've had four title matches so far on the show. 4 title changes. So, you know, statistically, it's not looking good for Cody, Io, and Julia. And then get how we got here. The battle between AJ Styles, Finn Balor against the House of Black. You know, Aleister Black took aim at Finn back at the Royal Rumble. He said, I want to fight that demon inside you. You know, because we all have our inner demons, but for yours, I want to fight him. He fought the demon at Elimination Chamber. That wasn't enough. Aleister Black sort of rubbed the demon paint off Finn, exposing the man beneath the demon paint. And tonight, they're going to sell this all in a 6-man tag team match as the House of Black face AJ and Finn. And a third partner if they could find one. We finally get into our first non-title match of the night, and the mood around here has changed. A sudden dark presence and chilling aura has taken over Philadelphia. And there is Aleister Black, alongside Brody King and Ciampa. They make up the House of Black, a formidable force over a Monday Night Raw.
The following contest is a 6-man tag team match. On the way to the ring, at a combined weight of 663 pounds.
Of course, all those years, 2 years ago, I think it was, Aleister Black and Brody King became SmackDown Tag Team Champions with their original iteration of the House of Black, which included Elias, Mark Andrews, Morgan Webster, and Danny Luna. But now, after a few years away in the shadows rebuilding, Aleister and Brody King have re-emerged, this time actually to corrupt the brain of Ciampa during a great feud with DIY earlier this year. Johnny Gargano fled Raw, he's over on SmackDown, and I'm afraid now there's no saving Tommaso Ciampa. He is very much a part of this House of Black. A black heart indeed, a black mind overtaken by Aleister Black. A successful corruption of Tommaso Ciampa as he continues his attempts to break down the minds of his opponents here tonight with Finn Balor and AJ Styles. It's not often that you head into WrestleMania not knowing who you're up against, but for the House of Black that actually rings true tonight, because we do know 2 of their opponents. But AJ and Finn, they believe they found a friend, but nobody who knows who it is. They're being kept very tight-lipped on the whole situation. But it's time for the big reveal.
And their opponents, first, from Gainesville, Georgia, weighing in at 218 pounds, the phenomenal AJ Styles.
Of course, AJ and Finn do share a brotherhood bond that is for life, of course, back in Japan. Both part of the same club during their excursions in Japan. And that's when, of course, they flew out there. They made a pit stop in Tokyo last week to go see an old friend ahead of WrestleMania. But they are here in Philadelphia tonight. We have to assume they brought their friend with them. Because if they haven't, well, the numbers game are very much against the OG leaders, as they call themselves, former Raw Tag Team Champions. And AJ and Finn. I sure hope they know what kind of a task, and whichever person they've found to be their partner, I sure know that that person also knows what they're getting themselves into, facing up against a dangerous trio like the House of Black. As we await the arrival of the former World Heavyweight Champion, the man with an absent, dormant Demon King inside him, that Aleister Black snuffed out back in Dublin at the Elimination Chamber, that being Finn Balor.
And from Bray, County Wicklow, Ireland, weighing in at 190 pounds, Finn Balor!
Of course, this whole thing really started with Finn Balor. Finn Balor, of course, he has the demon inside him, and Aleister Black said, bring that out. I want to fight that, I want to see what the hype's all about. So Balor, the demon, did indeed surface in Dublin at the Elimination Chamber, where Finn defeated Aleister Black on the night. But Aleister Black didn't take that line down. He managed to scrub all remnants of the demon off of Finn Balor's body. And Finn arrives here at WrestleMania tonight, a man with a plan, a man with two friends, and a man with a fighting chance to end this House of Black nightmare once and for all on the grandest stage of them all. Now, of course, we do know Finn Balor and AJ Styles, they attempted to reunite with Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, their former club members, but they weren't having none of it. They were happy coasting on their laurels, as AJ and Finn said, hanging around with Jeff Jarrett and Cameron Grimes, so they're out. But we need to find out who, if anybody, has answered the call to come and team with the former Raw Tag Team Champions. And again, I wouldn't be in a personal rush to get in the ring with the House of Black, but what do I know? I'm not a world-renowned superstar like Finn Balor and AJ Styles. Moment of truth time here in Pilly. Who will it be? Well, holy shit. He's here.
And from Auckland, New Zealand, weighing in at 223 pounds, Jay White.
For those who don't know, that man is Switchblade Jay White. He's a former IWGP champion in Japan, same as AJ Styles, and he shares that same for-life bond that AJ and Finn do. But of course, when they're over in Japan finding their man to team up with against the House of Black, of course you gotta keep it in the family, you gotta keep it in the club. And the Switchblade has arrived here in WWE on the grandest stage of them all. For those of you who know what to expect, there he is. For those of you this may be your first time seeing this man in action, well, prepare to be wowed and prepare to breathe with the Switchblade. Let's see how Aleister Black & Co. can adapt to the unexpected arrival of Jay White. Sure, 77. You know, fine, it's a mid-card match. I don't really care that much. But yes, the Switchblade is here. Jay White is the third member of the team, because of course it had to be a Bullet Club guy. And he's a leader in his own right. Not really an OG leader. Probably literally the definition of the exact opposite. But yes, he is here. And in 14 minutes and 55, Jay White does plant Tommaso Ciampa's bald head down the Blade Runner to win the match for him, Finn, and AJ. 70 for Jay White, 80 for Finn, 80 for AJ, 70 for Ciampa, 77 for Brody King, and 81 for Aleister Black. Switchblade gimmick gets a great, not really, no pros and cons at all. But yeah, he was still in New Japan in this game. He never went to AEW. His contract with New Japan just came up at the exact same day as PAX, actually. Funny story. So yeah, I signed both of them. PAC debuted straight away because he was in the tournament, but of course I knew... Ever since I started the feud between Aleister Black and Finn, I knew Jay White's contract was coming up, and I knew I was going to get him. So that's been... This moment's been coming for like 3 months. And here he is. Jay White, you know, he shares a 2-sweet in the ring with AJ Styles and Finn Balor after the match. When he grabs AJ and he plants him with the Blade Runner. Boo. Finn looks shocked. He also plants Finn Balor with the Blade Runner. He does mocking little gun finger signs as he leaves the ring. He goes, you know, you stupid fuck, you never trust me. You never trust a guy like me, breathe with the Switchblade, motherfucker. Because I'm not doing babyface Jay White. Like, fuck off. Philadelphia, are you ready? Because they are.
On the way to the ring at a combined weight of 448 pounds.
Of course, here in Philadelphia, when you think of Philadelphia, you think of wrestling, you think of ECW. And that man right there, Matt Cardona, he used to be on ECW, you know, like 15 years ago, the WWE version. He thinks he's the greatest, most extreme wrestler in the history of ECW. That's been his MO over the last few months, taking out legends like Rob Van Dam, Sabu, the Sandman, Tommy Dreamer. You name them, they're ECW originals. Matt Cardona has put them down. But tonight, it's an Extreme Rules match here in Philadelphia. You know, I can't think of a more fitting city for it. And I can't think of a more fitting tag team to shut these two up for good than them damn Dudley boys all the way from Dudleyville.
And their opponents at a combined weight of 585 pounds.
Of course, long dormant. The Dudleys haven't wrestled a match in WWE here in 8 years. You know, Bubba Ray Dudley even, has been active, you know, in other promotions around the world in those years. But Devon Dudley, this is his first time stepping in the ring in 8 years, at least officially. So, you know, there could be a lot of rust on him specifically tonight. But, you know, some things you don't forget as like riding a bike. And when you're one of the greatest, most accomplished tag teams of all time across all continents, you don't forget how to team up. You sure as hell don't forget how to do Extreme Rules. You sure as hell don't forget how to put people's ass through a damn table. The Dudleys back in Philly. This is what WrestleMania is all about, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I don't care. I don't care. This match gets a 55, is what I'm saying. Yes. But I think I've set the record for the most amount of interferences I've ever booked in a match during this entire save with this match right here. And I don't care because, like I said, you need a bit of everything on WrestleMania, and I imagine the game cannot put into words and describe how godly this match would be IRL. So, you know, Matt Cardona and Kurt Hawkins have been running down ECW guys recently, or over the last few months since Matt Cardona dropped the TV title. He's beat RVD, he's beat the Sandman, he beat Sabu. I don't think he ever actually fought Tommy Dreamer, but he's definitely mentioned him at some point. You know, Francine came into the Women's Royal Rumble, eliminated Chelsea Green, Matt Cardona's wife, and of course Bubba Ray Dudley was in the Rumble as well. And now we're here tonight, the Dudley boys against Hawkins and Cardona. They've also beaten the sons of Devon Dudley, Terrell and Terrence. So, you know, it's plunder. You know, you get your fun plunder match. And all the fucking ECW guys are out there. RVD's out there, Tommy Dreamer, Sabu, the Sandman. They all come running out. And they all bring weapons with them. Trash cans, kendo sticks and shit. Francine comes out and she tackles Chelsea Green through a table at one point. The ECW guys are just beating the fuck out of Matt Cardona and Kurt Hawkins. And then out come 3 more men. Bubba grabs a mic And he goes, "You had enough yet, Matt? You had enough? Because let me tell you something, you're not the greatest of all time, the most extreme wrestler of all time. You're not the future of extreme. These guys are." And then out come the Dudley boys, i.e. Devon's sons. And another guy we've not seen in WWE on the WWE main roster before. A rather handsome devil with very messed up hair and a bag of crisps. He gets into the ring. He gives suplexes to Kurt Hawkins and Matt Cardona. You know, the baby Dudleys come outside the ring. They put Kurt Hawkins through the announce table, and they're in the ring. 3D Matt Cardona through the table, and Bubba Ray pins Matt Cardona. Look at all the words on this screen right here. Chelsea Green came out. So did RVD, Tommy Dreamer, Sabu, the Sandman, Francine, Hook, and the Dudleys. And of course, I made it to be overbooked. This match is fucking goated. You know, again, TEW doesn't get it, but I do. This was the blow off to the entire Matt Cardona angle. Ever since I started it, I knew this is leading to Philly. This is leading to, you know, an ECW fan service match at WrestleMania. And there it is. The Dudleys go out a winner in Philadelphia, standing tall with the ECW originals and, I guess, the new breed of ECW, being Hook and Terrell and Terrence.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the ECW Women's Championship.
Our first world title match of the night, as Philadelphia graces the presence of the winner of the 2024 Women's Royal Rumble match. Now, Florence, of course, a SmackDown star, but she did jump over to ECW to get her revenge on Julia the other night. Of course, Florence won Money in the Bank last year. She cashed that in on Io Sky the week before Survivor Series. And it was Julia who reared her head that night, revealed herself the final member of Queen's War Games team, and cost Florence the opportunity to become Women's World Champion. If Florence wins that night, we don't get the Queendom Reign of Terror we've got right now, so, you know, that's what Julia had to live with for costing Florence on that night. And when Florence won the Royal Rumble, like she had a chance to avenge her loss to Io Sky. Well, she is looking for vengeance, but not against Io. That's up to Dakota. Tonight, she's going to get revenge on the woman who cost her that match in the first place, that being the ECW Women's Champion Julia. The first and only ECW Women's Champion to date, after winning it back at SummerSlam to become the inaugural champion. Of course, Florence and Julia themselves have a lot of history together. You know, beyond the four horsewomen, then you've got the Rhea Ripleys, the Bianca Belairs, your Io Skies. There was two women who were penciled out about a year and a half ago as the future of this division. Those two names were Florence and Julia, and they've sort of been butting heads ever since. Last year in the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, they were the final two competitors, with Florence winning on that night. Florence, of course, the last person she knocked off to win Money in the Bank was Julia. And tonight, we get to finally settle the score. New look, new attitude, same champion. Here on the grandest stage of them all. Of course, I mentioned SummerSlam. Julia won the match to become the inaugural ECW Women's Champion, defeating Liv Morgan on that night. She's defended against almost everybody on the ECW Women's division, that being Blair Davenport, Sonya Deville, Hikaru Shida, Liv Morgan again, Gigi Dolan, all of them. Shotzi Blackheart, Ruby Riott, Lyra Valkyria. She went through an elimination chamber, came out on top. And tonight, there's no Yoko Uehara, no Blair Davenport in sight. They've been sort of pawns in this game, this one-upsmanship between these two women heading into tonight. But it is tonight, it is WrestleMania, and there is just two women stood in that ring. One of them will be the ECW Women's Champion. Will it be Florence? Will she avenge that defeat from back in November? Or is Julia, her reign as the first and so far only ECW Women's Champion, going to continue? if anything, I promise you this promises to be hard-hitting. This promises to be a war. As that championship is defended on the grandest stage of them all for the first time ever.
Introducing the challenger from England, Florence. And her opponent from Osaka, Japan, the ECW Women's Champion, Julia.
It's been a long road to get here, but here we are. These two women, in many ways the future and the present of the women's division, facing off against each other, each side of the ring on the grandest stage of them all. Who's going to come out on top? 90. Yeah, that's fun. That's good. It's about what I expected, actually. Maybe actually a little bit better than I thought. But yeah, Julia, Florence. Florence, the Royal Rumble winner, choosing to try and avenge Julia for costing her the Money in the Bank cash-in back in November. Julia, the ECW Women's Champion, the first and only of her kind. Won it back at SummerSlam, beating Liv Morgan for it. And tonight, she defended against Florence for the first time. Two women who were chosen like a year and a half ago as the two stars of the future in this division. Their rises to the top have basically paralleled each other. And in what could be her last chance at redemption, the winner of this match and the new ECW Women's Champion is Florence. 90 for Julia, 83 for Florence. And yeah, we have a new ECW Women's Champion. And for those keeping track at home, that is 5 championship changes out of 5 so far tonight, with 2 more to go. So, you know, what could be going down later on tonight? It does put the pressure on the champion, that's all I'll say. But yeah, Florence, she celebrates, pyro goes off. She's finally conquered the mountain. She's finally on top of the mountain. And she's the ECW champion. A brand which she herself said, you know, she feels like she's at home at because it sort of captures her sort of vibe over on ECW and Florence now. The head of that division, the second ever ECW Women's Champion, ending the run of Julia. How we got here, right? So Bianca and Candice started their issues back at SummerSlam when they both wanted to lead the team against Next Gen, and then obviously their disagreements led to them losing the match. Candice had just been shitting all over Bianca had been shitting all over Candice for like 8 months at this point. Her and Montez Ford, you know, the alpha couple of SmackDown. Johnny Gargano drafted over in exchange for Trick Williams. And now here we are, mixed tag team match at WrestleMania. Johnny WrestleMania, it's good to have you back. And he didn't come alone this year.
The following is scheduled for one fall. On the way to the ring, the team of Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano.
Now, it behooved me to, you know, not talk about the incredible roller coaster year that Candice LeRae has had since last year's WrestleMania, where she main evented night 1, won the Women's World Championship against Bayley in the main event. And since then, since SummerSlam, she's had a very busy year. She's been an integral part, you know, the head instigator of Dakota Kai's portrayal of Queendom. She's been at war with Bianca Belair for months, and SummerSlam, this is over 7 months of animosity here, coming to a head on the grandest stage of them all. And Johnny Gargano, of course, trade for Trick Williams, moved him over to SmackDown, as Candice and Johnny team up for the first time in their careers at WrestleMania, looking to prove they're the top couple here on SmackDown. But to get in their way, you've got the franchise player and her entitled son of a bitch of a husband, who very, very different from the last time they were on the grand stage.
And their opponents, the team of Bianca Belair and Montez Ford.
As a matter of fact, it was last year's WrestleMania where Bianca Belair beat Utami Hayashishita and won those 3 wishes by becoming the franchise player that really instigated this change of attitude between Bianca Belair and Montez Ford. When Bianca wished for Montez Ford to win Money in the Bank, cheated his way to get a hold of that briefcase, and the two moved over to SmackDown, where they recruited Ora Mensah and Jakara Jackson by their side to sort of go along with their wicked little game. And Bianca's issues with Candice LeRae going back months saw Montez Ford call Johnny Gargano over to SmackDown. And here we are tonight, mixed tag team match. You don't see very many mixed tag team matches at WrestleMania, probably the first one in 7 years, I believe. Well, officially. So let's see who's going to come out on top, who's going to be the alpha couple of SmackDown. 85, sure. Oh, good little WrestleMania match. And yeah. Bianca Belair, of course, heading into this match undefeated at WrestleMania. Important to note, Montez Ford, the former World Heavyweight Champion, gets Gargano and Candice, the wrestlings, at WrestleMania. Obviously, the men can't fight the women, but I do imagine there would be a spot where, specifically, Candice would slap Montez Ford, because, again, Montez Ford has more issues with Candice than Bianca has with Johnny, so that way around feels better. But then the finish is going to come. Jakara Jackson or Mensah do run out, and then they take stereo one final beat DDTs from Candice and Johnny, and then they turn around. Bianca Belair goes to whip Candice away of her braid. Candice sort of grabs it, ties it, locks it around her neck and face. She locks Bianca Belair in the Gargano escape. Montez Ford rushes into the ring to break it up. Johnny catches him with a drop toe hold. He locks Montez Ford into the Gargano escape. And we've got stereo submissions going on here. Tez and Bianca reach out to each other, hold each other's hands to stop themselves tapping out. But then in the end, they do both submit to a big pop. Finally, Candice gets that woman out of her hair. And a big feel-good win for husband and wife at WrestleMania 40. As Montez Ford and Bianca Belair submit to the wrestlings. 84 for Candice, 81 for Johnny, 83 for Tez, and a 90 for Bianca. And yeah, nice to finally put this feud to bed. But something tells me that they're going to hate each other for the end of time. You don't hate each other for that long and then sort of just forget about them. But yes, that had to feel also sweet for Candice LeRae. Then get a rundown of tomorrow night's show, Night 2, the season finale of Season 8 of Challenge Run. The main event being the 4 Horsemen Fatal 4-Way for the WWE Women's Championship. Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Bayley, Sasha Banks. Roman Reigns defends the ECW Championship against both his cousins Jimmy and Jey Uso in a triple threat match. Swerve Scott takes on Ilya Dragunov. John Cena and R-Truth challenge the partners in Prime. Neville challenges Pistolero for the US title. Edge's final match takes place against Christian. And of course, we did learn last night on SmackDown, kicking off the show will be Seth Rollins taking on CM Punk. Philadelphia, get ready to whoop that trick.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Columbia, South Carolina, weighing in at 205 pounds, Trick Williams.
Trick Williams, this is his first match at WrestleMania, although last year he stood in the corner of his brother at the time, Carmelo Hayes. But tonight, there ain't no brotherhood there anymore. There's a bit of rivalry between Trick and the man he used to call a brother, and Carmelo Hayes, the former World Heavyweight Champion. And a man who very quickly became jealous of the popularity that Trick had been gaining from the WWE Universe, who were out in full force tonight, charting this man on. And this could be the first of a long, long, long WrestleMania career for Trick Williams.
And his opponent from Boston, Massachusetts, weighing in at 210 pounds, Carmelo Hayes.
course, the chirp, the disrespect for his former best friend, his former hype man. You see there lurking in the shadows behind Carmelo Hayes is Omos. He's in many ways the man who instigated this whole thing. When he was hanging around with Malcolm Bivens, he's part of the Malcolm Bivens enterprises. When Carmelo Hayes paid him off to attack Trick Williams so the blood wouldn't be on his hands. But then he fled to Raw as part of a trade that saw Montez Ford go to SmackDown after he won the World Heavyweight Championship. And then Trick Williams would request a trade of Adam Pearce. Johnny Gargano would go the other way if Trick landed on Raw to get his hands and settle the score with this man once and for all. And it just so happens to fall on the grandest stage of them all. The biggest stage possible for Trick to try and avenge his betrayal from that man. AE, that's fine, yeah. It's actually maybe a little bit better than I was expecting, because Trick's not like super over. But yeah, big win. Omos, of course, is out there. There will be a spot where Tricky does body slam Omos, akin to Hogan and Andre. And then after that, Melo hits nothing but net. He gets a 2 count. Tricky's getting all fired up. He's flying in, and he's flying the offense in. Trick keeps getting up. He hits that big knee to rock Melo. Boots him in the face with that big Tricky kick. And Trick Williams scores the biggest win of his career against his former best friend here at the grandest stage of them all. 65 for Trick, 91 for Melo. And yeah, they've officially gone their separate ways. Trick Williams now on the rise. I mean, Carmelo Hayes still on the rise as well because he is still young. But he is a former world champion and he's been defeated here by his protege. His best friend, his hype man, Trick Williams. That's what he gets for paying off Omos to attack him all those months ago. Well, once this match is over, one thing's for sure. Things in the Paragon will never be the same again. The Paragon as you knew it before is dead.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Panama City, Florida, weighing in at 200 pounds, Adam Cole!
And ever since Adam Cole formed the Paragon, it's back in 2022, it's been him and the Fritz brothers and Bobby Roode. Last year, JC Jane joined the group as the female representative, but that will no longer be the case, because this match tonight changes everything. Either Adam Cole is victorious here tonight and Dolph Ziggler is forced, against his will, to join up with Adam Cole and the crew, or Dolph Ziggler is victorious here tonight and the Paragon is no more in any form. A lot of pressure for Adam Cole to keep his textbook story run going. What sort of tricks does that man have up his sleeve, though? I don't trust him. I won't trust him as far as I can throw him, but there is one damn thing for sure. He is good, and he knows it. Of course, Adam Cole, his third WrestleMania here tonight. You know, he faced off against his former stablemate, the man we now know as the God, Kyle O'Reilly, 2 years ago, as well as him and Roode of the Paragon against Dolph Ziggler, against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn last year. But when it comes to WrestleMania experience,
From Cleveland, Ohio, weighing in at 218 pounds, Dawn Ziggler.
I gotta say, when it comes to WrestleMania experience, I think that man has him beat. Last year, he was in his first ever singles match at WrestleMania in front of a live crowd. He beat Logan Paul on the night. Tonight, he's in his second in back-to-back years. But that man comes into this match tonight, a former ECW champion. He was the inaugural champion of this title's lineage back at SummerSlam when he defeated his former Grand Jury stablemate Damian Priest following a betrayal that Priest will see tomorrow night against Bobby Lashley. But he defeated the Tribal Chief, albeit through the hands of the Usos coming to his aid back at High Voltage. And tonight they're going to get back on top. 90. So yeah, high pressure here for Ziggler and Adam Cole. Because Paragon as we know it is dead. Like the second this bell rings, that stable is completely never going to be the same again. It will either not exist or Dolph Ziggler will be in it. And they have a Dolph Ziggler Adam Cole match. You know, try and keep count of how many super kicks will be in this. You know, Shawn Michaels wrestling Shawn Michaels right here at WrestleMania. And, yeah, you know, Ziggler super kicks both the Fritz brothers at ringside, super kicks Bobby Roode at ringside. He gets into the ring. Adam Cole drops him with a last shot. 1, 2, Ziggler kicks out. Ziggler, he refuses to give in. He's going to work. He delivers a super kick to Adam Cole. He's getting all fired up. He's going to deliver another super kick to Adam Cole. That's when somebody jumps up on the apron. You know, it's a guy wearing a mask. Like I said, we can't see who he is. Ziggler super kicks him, and he sort of like gets all groggied, and he stands on the apron. Ziggler grabs a hold of him, and he's like, "You son of a bitch, who are you?" He rips the mask off, and it's Cesaro. And he's like, "What? What the hell?" Turns around, last shot, and Adam Cole baby is victorious. So, yeah. Dolph Ziggler will join the Paragon, but more interestingly, is he the only new member of the group here tonight? 90 for Adam Cole, 88 for Dolph Ziggler. After the match, we seem to get our answer. When Cesaro does unzip the jacket, and he is sporting Paragon. So, yeah. Cesaro, I guess, appears to be in the Paragon. I guess an old friend of his, you know, him and Adam Cole are friends, so I guess he's doing a favour to get his career back on track. But the group is now 7 strong. With Adam Cole, Bobby Roode, the Fritz brothers, JC Jane, Cesaro, and now, sadly, also Dolph Ziggler. Oh boy, how we got... This segment is 7 minutes long. It's the Queendom Law, you know, exposition dump ahead of the Women's World Championship match. You know, and you know that I have that match planned out to a T. Because it should be the main event of WrestleMania, but you apparently really like Royal Rumble winners main event WrestleMania. So, yeah. Or you just don't like women. Or you just haven't enjoyed the Queendom story, you know. All of these are very valid. But, yeah. It's why I left up the democracy, you know. You didn't want this to be the main event, so I listened. Next year I won't do that, I'll just pick them. but I'm only half joking there, by the way. Anyway, yes, you know how we got here. Io and Dakota already faced off twice before in the fall. Io won both of those through nefarious means, and Dakota joined up with Queendom. Because, you know, you can't beat them, join them. She booted Candice LeRae in the face in War Games, seemingly aligning with Queendom. But the whole time she was a worm. You know, she was trying to tear Queendom apart from the inside. She forced Tegan and Piper away from the group. You know, it looked like she was going to do it with Utami as well, but apparently Utami was also scheming. You know, she was suspicious of Dakota that whole time. She was scheming. She had Asuka on speed dial to replace Dakota Kai in the group. And then on that fateful day on the Ides of March, when Dakota Kai showed her true colours and booted Caesar to set up WrestleMania. You know, a lot of things could have gone wrong for Dakota. This last 5 months has played out exactly as she dreamed of. But all of it's for nothing if she comes up short here tonight.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the Women's World Championship.
Time for talk is over. The first of our co-main events begins now. Taking a sweet time to make her way out here. Taking in the atmosphere. The biggest fight of her life. 5 months of putting your entire career on the line for this moment. It's the King. Now right there, is the face of a woman who knows what she's in for tonight. The last 5 months she's been hanging by the side of Io Sky and the rest of Queendom, waiting for the perfect moment to deliver the boom. Tonight, there's no Tegan Nox or Piper Niven by either woman's side. Asuka and Utami Hayashishita have seen them. Dakota Kai, over the last few months, has torn everybody away from the Queendom. And tonight is her last chance to take that one last piece in Io's crown and end the Queendom's tyranny and usher in the new reign of King Coda. But of course, there's no easy feat when the woman you're up against is arguably the greatest women's wrestler to ever exist. Tyranny is what this woman has called SmackDown since she won the championship from Candice LeRae back at Evolution in July. The formation of Queendom shook the entire landscape of SmackDown. She had arguably the greatest women's match in the history of WWE against Asuka in the Tokyo Dome at SummerSlam. And tonight, she walks down as one of the co-main events of WrestleMania against a woman who's very quickly become her greatest rival in history. They've shed blood together, they've shed locker rooms together, they've sweat together, they've cried together, you name it, they've done it. And tonight, Dakota Kai's master plan either successfully comes in clutch, or the whole last 5 months have been for nothing, and there is simply no stopping the reign of the Joshi Judas, the Women's World Champion. Big fight feel here in Philadelphia for the first of our co-main events.
Introducing the challenger from Auckland, New Zealand, Dakota Kai. And her opponent from Tokyo, Japan, the Women's World Champion, Io Sky.
Of course, Cammy by Io's side, but no Asuka, no Utami. And with Candice, Dakota, there's no Candice, no Tegan, no Piper. Mano a mano. SmackDown's 2 best over the past year. For that, let's do it. 91. Which, Io gets a 92, Dakota gets a 90, so, that makes perfect sense. Big fancy entrances. King versus Queen. Just Cammy out there, Vio, no sign of Utami and Asuka. And obviously no sign of Tegan, Piper, and Candice on Dakota's end either. So the bell rings, they face off. They sort of smile on each other's face. They exchange strikes to kick off the match. Eventually they do slow the pace down. Io brings her high flying offense. And it's Dakota and Io, they're wrestling like they did before. And then of course Io at one point does hit that moonsault. 1, 2, Dakota Kai kicks out. And she's getting angry, she's slapping the mat, she's getting angry. And she calls Cammy over, she's like, Cammy, come here. And we see her whispering something to Cammy. And she's like, yeah, okay, my genius of the sky. And Dakota Kai, she continues to she's firing up the comeback. She hits those running corner strikes on Io. And then she goes all fired up, she's gonna go for the scorpion kick. Io rolls to the outside of the ring. And then when Dakota bends down to grab her up from outside, Cammy's distracted the referee, taking the turnbuckle pad off. Asuka appears from under the ring. She red mists Dakota Kai in the face. Io sees this opportunity. She climbs to the top rope. And she hits that over the moonsault. Referee finally does turn around, sees the cover. 1. Dakota kicks out at 1. She's getting all fired up. She screams in the face of Io, boots her in the face, gets all fired up, backs her into the corner, delivers that big boot. 1, 2, Io's away. And, Dakota, she's still wiping her eyes now because she's still been blinded by the mist. Utami has also appeared at ringside at this point as well. And then we hear the crowd erupt because Tegan Nox and Piper Niven emerge from the crowd. They fight off Utami and Piper take them down, and then slide into the ring. And Io's there cornered. I don't know what's happened to the referee. The referee's taking a bump at this point, because we need the referee down. Yeah. The referee's taking a bump at this point. You know, Cammy's outside, you know, trying to cheer on Io. And she's like backed up against the corner. She's like, no, leave me alone. And then Io tries to fight them all off, and they take her down. You know, Tegan hits the Shining Wizard. Piper hits her finisher. And then they stand Io Sky up in the corner. And then Cammy gets up on the apron. Like, she like grabs Dakota's hair, like trying to stop her from booting Io in the face. And then, out of nowhere, Candice LeRae flies in from out of frame. Like, spears Cammy off the apron. So Cammy takes the bump. If there's a table out there, that would be sick, but I don't know how that table would have got there. So now she's also out of it. And Dakota, like, she's on one side of the ring, Io's in the other corner. She hits that running big boot. And, like, stands there, like, you know, the Sami Zayn Kevin Owens spot, you know, where Kevin Owens fell down and Sami sort of grabbed him from the boot. You know, that happens there. She looks down at Io in her hands, like, frustrated. She shakes her head and goes, "It's over." She grabs the Queendom flag, wraps the Queendom flag around Io, boots her again. 1, 2, 3. She done it. We have a new Women's World Champion here at WrestleMania. The reign of Queendom, the reign of the Joshi Judas, the reign of Io Sky is over. Dark days of the division, this tyranny has been lifted by the great liberator, the ruler of the liberation, Dakota Kai. After the match, Candice LeRae, Tegan and Piper in the ring celebrating. Dakota's holding the belt up high, Pyro's going off. And then, like, we see, like, Io retreat up the ramp, like, looking sad and angry and, like, screaming. Cammy's, like, trying to calm her down. And Asuka and Utami are behind her as well, because they are still champions. But for now, the Queendom appears to be on rough times. Rock versus LA Knight. Rock came back to be the special guest referee at the Elimination Chamber. Screwed LA Knight out of the World Heavyweight Championship, gifting that belt to Swerve. You know, says, you cheer for this guy and not me. I'm the real People's Champion, not this LA Knight guy. And tonight I'm going to prove it. WrestleMania, meet the final boss. Still, his legions of fans still out there, but let's make no mistake, this man is not the People's Champion anymore. That honor goes to his opponent tonight, the man he cost the World Heavyweight Championship, LA Knight.
Is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Miami, Florida, weighing in at 265 pounds,
The Rock, you never thought we'd see this side of him ever again. But becoming a member of the board here at TKO and WWE has changed this man, but he now feels he has say in who reigns on top of SmackDown. And at the Elimination Chamber, he decided enough is enough, and no longer will LA Knight be World Heavyweight Champion. That honor now goes to Swerve Scott. The Rock, I guess, is on a power trip. They're trying to deny the people their current favourite, their current People's Champion, that being the megastar LA Knight. But tonight, in our penultimate match here at WrestleMania Night 1, The Rock, for the first time in 11 years, to take part, no, not 11 years, 2 years, is to take part in an official match here in WWE. You know, there could be some ring rust. He hasn't wrestled since he faced the Tribal Chief WrestleMania 38. But again, that was the People's Champion. That was babyface hero Rock. This Rock is different. This Rock is an animal. This Rock is the final boss. Philadelphia. Whose game is it?
And his opponent from Los Angeles, California, weighing in at 241 pounds, LA Knight.
Of course, how can you not help but be infected whenever the cavalker of the megastar struts his way down, especially on the grandest stage of them all, a stage so grand it was built for a megastar like this. A megastar like LA Knight. Yeah. But he does know what he's in for tonight. He's up against The Rock, of all people. It's never an easy task. But the people letting it know whose game it is. And unfortunately for The Rock, I don't think tonight that the People's Champion is Dwayne Johnson. I think the people have had their say. Their champion is LA Knight. Yeah. 82 is actually good, considering The Rock was exhausted and rusty. So, yeah. So, good job LA Knight actually being able to carry The Rock to a good match here. But again, you know, it's The Rock. He's whipping LA Knight with the belt. And the referee is like, DQ. And The Rock's like, you shut your bitch ass up, referee. It's only a disqualification if The Rock says it's a disqualification. Okay? And then, LA Knight, he gets to his feet, he starts firing up, going, yeah. And then he corners him. The Rock, he gets applied with the BFT 1-2 kick out. When The Rock does get all fired up, The Rock gets a steel chair. He throws a steel chair at LA Knight. You know, he's kicking all kinds of ass. The referee again can't call for the DQ because his boss is saying don't. He then picks up LA Knight. He's going to deliver a rock bottom to LA Knight. When the glass shatters, and out from the back, on his ATV, rides Stone Cold Steve Austin. The Rock looks like he's seen a ghost. Austin drives down a ringside, he does a lap of the ring. He gets into the ring. He drops The Rock with a stunner. But like The Rock, he sells it like a champion, but... Actually, no, I've changed my mind. I was going to do like, oh, he can't sell like that because he needs to stay on his feet. But no, he does the stunner sell. But like, he bounces off the rope and then lands back on his feet. And he lands straight into a BFT. And LA Knight pins The Rock, thanks to the outside interference of Stone Cold Steve Austin. You know, The Rock made his own bed here tonight. He was taking the piss with the rules of the disqualification. And it bit him on the ass. So yeah. LA Knight on 87, 68 for The Rock. Again, yeah, he's rusty and exhausted. So 82 for that is actually really good. Well done, LA Knight. The Rock needs to be a little bit smarter. Okay, thanks, Adam. But again, yes, we just get The Rock and LA Knight sharing beers in the ring. I don't know if I'd have him drop him with a stunner, because that seems like he's something he'd do to a heel. I don't really want him to drop LA Knight with a stunner. So he's just basically giving the rub to LA Knight here tonight at WrestleMania. If he can't be World Heavyweight Champion, he may as well do the next best thing, which is drink beer with Stone Cold at WrestleMania 40. But now it's time for the main event. A story that can only be told in Philadelphia. Of a young, well, not really young, but like top underdog in this industry against an evil foreign destroyer who cannot be defeated. A loved one held in his arms. Vigorous training. Well, you may call him the American Nightmare, but he's in many ways the Italian Stallion here tonight. And also for Cody, numbers aren't on his side tonight.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the WWE Championship.
Main event time here at WrestleMania Saturday, as the 2024 Royal Rumble winner gets his opportunity at gold.
Ladies and gentlemen, the matter is highly. What you're about to witness
Thank you so much for that intro, Ludwig. But yes, indeed, it is the Ring General making his way out for the WrestleMania main event. Of course, the mat is sacred to a man like Gunther. And this is the biggest spot in this industry possible for a wrestler. Of course, no Giovanni Vinci. Here at the grandest stage of them all tonight, Cody Rhodes. He took him out as revenge for what Gunther did to Cody's older brother Goldust just 3 weeks ago on Raw in Los Angeles. Put that man on the shelves. Cody held there with his injured brother in his arms. He promised, he vowed revenge against the Ring General, taking out one of his fellow comrades, and an eye for an eye. And unfortunately for Cody, Ludwig Kaiser remains out here by the side of the Ring General, so the numbers game is still against him. But it is going to be a hell of a lot easier with just one of them out there than it would be if Vinci was also by the side of the Ring General. Gunther, former World Heavyweight Champion. He defended that championship last year, lost it to Pete Dunne a few weeks later by Money in the Bank cash-in. No, Money in the Bank was cashing on Pete Dunne, sorry, after he beat Gunther. He has never got an opportunity of getting the title back since, until he won the Royal Rumble. A year in the making with Cody Rhodes here tonight. Of course, I say a year in the making, because last year these were the two men who left WrestleMania as world champions. Both members of the WWE Raw roster. And they had a face-off the night after WrestleMania. And they said, one day we will be wrestling each other. Well, it turns out that day is today. The American Nightmare, once again in the main event of WrestleMania. 1 year on from writing arguably the greatest story ever told here in WWE. Cody Rhodes, he finished that story last year, defeating Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns in what many consider one of the greatest WrestleMania main events of all time. A year later, he walks into the grandest stage of them all champion, but somehow still an underdog. The American Nightmare, made a great statement of both WrestleManias he's competed at since his return back in 2022. Tonight, he's got a mountain of a task to overcome to pin a man who's only been pinned twice in his WWE career. But if one man can do it, one man has the heart and the soul to do it. In the heart of Philadelphia, the city of the Italian Stallion, the greatest underdog story ever told. It is the American Nightmare. It is Cody Rhodes taking on Gunther.
Introducing the challenger from Vienna, Austria, weighing in at 297 pounds, Gunther! And his opponent from Atlanta, Georgia, weighing in at 220 pounds, the WWE Champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes!
Cody looking at that WWE Championship. Could that be the last time he ever holds it? Because the Ring General is not to be messed with. On his day, he can defeat anybody. But will that day be today? Will Gunther walk out the WWE Champion? Or will the story of the American Nightmare continue to be written in the main event of WrestleMania? 99. Yeah. There we go. So yeah, that's why you voted this in the main event over the other match, I see. I low-key knew this was going to get a 99. Like, anything, this may sound like dickish, as anything lower than a 99 would have disappointed me. I knew it was going to be a 99. Could have even been a 100. But yeah, 99 will have to do. But yes, as I was saying, every single championship has changed hands tonight, apart from, well, the Cruiserweight Trio Championship on the pre-show, but that's the pre-show. That's basically a different show entirely. New Women's World Champion, new ECW Women's Champion, new Television Champion, new SmackDown Tag Team Champions, new Intercontinental Champion, and new Women's Tag Team Champions. But Cody and Gunther, of course, Vinci not here tonight because Cody took him out. The actual reason for that was because I wanted to do the Ludwig entrance on 2K, and you can't do that if he's got Vinci with him as well, so I had to write Vinci off. That's the shoot reason as to why Vinci got beaten up. But yes, you know, these two then go in a war. Gunther's been waiting for a year to get a Total World Championship once again. And in 22 minutes and 37 seconds, we do have our winner. And still WWE Champion, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. He hits those triple crossroads on Gunther, and he pins the Ring General. He overcomes the Rocky underdog story, pays off dividends here in Philadelphia. And still, we end the night with fucking Cody Rhodes pyro going off. A year after he finished his story, he closes night 1 of WrestleMania 40. Still WWE Champion on his second reign. As we, you know, close out the first night here in Philadelphia, the show gets, it's going to get a 100. I don't even know why I'm being, you know, suspenseful about it, because I bought the $1 million set and all that shit. Yeah. But what matters more than that is what you thought of the show. So please, because it's WrestleMania, do let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you next time for night 2 of WrestleMania 40. The season finale. And then the goals are going to open up again. Isn't that exciting? But for now, from night 1 at Philadelphia, see you then.